everyone, welcome back to Amos Farm. Today I thought I'd bring you guys a nearly August garden tour. The last tour we did here on the channel was back in April and a lot of things have changed. But first I wanted to tell you about this amazing quote that I heard from Jess over at Roots of Refuge channel. She said on your first year gardening, which this is my first year gardening, that your biggest harvest would be knowledge, and I completely agree with that. So we don't have an extravagant garden here right now. We don't have tons of food growing because I'm really just trying to learn what grows good, when, where, and how. We've had our failures, but we've also had some great successes. The tomatoes were a great success, I will say that, other than towards the end, about June-ish, we ended up having to pull them because it just got too hot. I was noticing signs of blight, and they just really started, stopped producing blossoms, or they would produce a blossom and they would just end up falling off because of the heat. It's been hot and it's still hot. So the things that I have growing are things that are a little less maintenance right now because I'm still in my learning process of what needs to grow when. So I'm going to take you guys around and show you some things, but first I wanted to tell you about some of the things that maybe we have failed at and some of the things we have succeeded at. We had our go at trying onions. That was a fail. I don't know if it was too hot, too early, or we just had the wrong variety of onions. So we will be trying those again either this fall or the spring. Haven't decided on that yet. And we didn't have the greatest luck with carrots. We did get carrots, but they weren't incredibly big, but they were great for snacking on. What else? Oh, radishes. We didn't have the best of luck with our radishes. We'll have to try that again. We did grow several containers of potatoes. Some did better than others. The ones that did the best for us here in Florida are the red skin potatoes, so we'll definitely be growing lots more of those next year. That's my dog Bo. Hi Bo. Yeah, right now we don't have a whole lot of food growing. Lots of peppers. I've been doing a lot of pickling of the peppers and all sorts of things, hot sauces, so be sure to check that out. And also be sure to check out our first garden tour back in April so you can see the changes. But also I want to tell you that I plan on expanding the garden a little bit more, making more raised beds. We're not really prepared right now to do an in-ground garden, so we are going to just do some more raised beds. We keep the fence up because we have dogs here, and the dogs are kept out during the day to protect the property. But we're going to be extending the fence so that I can come right out my back door and straight into the garden, and from the garden into the house with hopefully my big baskets of food that I've grown. So I'm going to take you guys around and show you the things that we have growing. Oh yes, I forgot to mention, I wanted to tell you about two updates on things that I've made videos on. The tomato sucker starts that I had going, I will show you those. I have 4 remaining plants that have continued to do well. There are quite a few that I did lose to just either the heat. I ended up moving mine to the shade and in pots, and they're doing pretty good right now. I'll be sure to share those. But also, you probably remember the video I made of starting the pumpkins. Fail. I didn't have one single pumpkin germinate in those starters, the starter pot. As I take you around, I'm going to show you the new bed of pumpkins that I just had to start a few weeks ago. And we also have some cantaloupe, and of course our watermelons that we are hoping to get a large watermelon to be a competitor in the VW Family Farm 2019 Watermelon Challenge. Be sure to check that out. And as you can see, we have lots of beautiful Tabasco plants that are still loaded. I have to come out here and pick all of those. My plan is to pick them all off, put them in a freezer bag and freeze them. You know, I preferably want the red ones, so I'm trying to wait until they turn red so I can make some fermented Tabasco sauce. But I think that is it. We also have basil over here that I need to dehydrate, and I'm thinking of trying some strawberry basil lemonade, and if I do, I'll try to make it into a video. But yeah, let's go around and show you the things that we have growing here. Okay, you come in the gate and we have this little pole bean variety. I'm not really sure the name of it right now, but I got this from VW Family Farms giveaway they were doing several months ago, and I wanted to give that a try. Is this the right time to grow beans? I don't know, but I'm just doing it and I'm learning. And it seems to be taking off now. Excuse me, it seems to be taking off really good now. And then you come over here and we have this recycled chair that I've turned into a flower pot bed for this echinacea. I also need to learn about the things that I can do with echinacea. We did harvest our birdhouse gourds, which we have hanging in our shed. They were here on an arched trellis. We since then took that down, harvested the gourds, and they are in the process of drying, and I will be using that later this year as a project for my daughter for homeschool. But we'll start over here. These are just two different varieties of our jalapenos. We have the grande jalapenos and the nadapenos that we have been pickling and enjoying fresh. I still have yet to make some bacon wrapped poppers stuffed with cream cheese. I'm definitely going to be doing that. And we have two of the red ghost peppers and one habanero that is putting on more fruit that we can make more hot sauce with. Be sure to check out that video that we did when we made the hot sauce. And here we have some bell peppers that aren't doing incredibly great, probably because of the variety. This is the King of the North variety. I'm assuming that it prefers more northern climate, and also it would help if they weren't in these pots. Okay, this is the pumpkin bed. And of course things are planted a little bit close, but you know, like I said, harvesting knowledge all the time. But we have the first one here is the Jack Be Little. That was the only one that came up out of that variety. We have had some issues with some worms chewing on our leaves that we are trying to get under control. And like I said, Jack Be Little. Next we have the sugar pumpkin that will make delicious pies, I'm hoping. And next, these big leaves, these are from the Howden pumpkin, which are your basic jack-o'-lantern size pumpkin. And the ones we have here at the end with the different shaped leaves are, I believe they are called Big Macs maybe, but they're the really large type of pumpkin. We've grew some before when our kids were younger and they got quite massive, so we really hope to get some of those so we can use as a display or even possibly carving or eating. But yeah, this is the pumpkin bed, and everything is doing quite well. And if we come over here, we have our cantaloupes, which have also been attacked by worms, as you can see here. But we're working towards fixing that problem. But this first area here, these ones and these ones, these are just your regular cantaloupe. And a friend of mine in Georgia recommended this variety here at the end, which is the banana melon. I am really looking forward to trying that. I hope they do well for us. But that is the cantaloupe bed right next to the pumpkin bed. I know things are going to get really crowded and busy in this area very soon, but that's alright. I'm just going to let them go and let them do their thing. And like I said, this is the bed that I did a week and a half later from starting my first bed of watermelons. So these are a little bit smaller, but they're doing good. Everyone is starting to make their way to the edge of the bed. And here we have one variety. We only had 2 of this variety come up in this bed. So we have one here and one here. And the rest of these at the end are a different variety. And as you can see, they are doing amazing. And they have blossoms on them everywhere. They have already made it way out here. But we are going to be expanding the garden. We're going to be taking that fence down along there, and we are going to be moving the fence out towards our mobile home. Here we have our tomato sucker starts that we started several months ago. These ones we started a little bit later than the ones we posted in the video. Several of those did not quite make it. The heat got the best of them, so I've moved them to the shade. And here, over here are 2 that actually made it, and they are about waist high right now. And I see they have a little friend hanging out, a little ladybug, but I can't get the camera to focus. But here is the ladybug. Eat those aphids if there are any. And I wanted to also show you my little sitting area that I have created. I purchased this headboard from the Goodwill for $2.99, which I have painted, and also the bench was given to me as a gift that I painted. I was undecided as to what to do with the headboard, but I turned it into sort of a backdrop to my bench, and I have a table over here that I can work on that I also plan on painting. And this here is an amazing pile of pots that my mom got for me at a yard sale for free. All of those pots for free. And we have a couple left. These are the marigolds, and I have tons and tons of seeds. I know there are things that you can also do with the actual flower, but I'm still learning about that. I definitely want to give all of these things a try. My one and only succulent plant that I'm trying to start, I'm hoping it fills this whole pot. My mom gave this whole setup to me, and I planted these beautiful succulents in here. I don't remember the variety, but they are just gorgeous. I will show you this one. It sort of looks like a beautiful rose. And over here, behind that, excuse my dogs barking, they're letting somebody know that they're too close to the fence. Here we have our elderberry starts. We found some elderberry on the side of the road in a ditch, and we took some green clippings off of them, which you will kind of see here on this stem. But unfortunately the green mostly died off and we left with this brown stalk. But I noticed a week or so later that they started growing new green, and excuse me, they are looking quite lovely. We have a total of 5 of them, and we are hoping once they get to a good size in these pots excuse me, we're hoping once they get to a good size in these pots that we can plant them out back where it stays fairly damp and wet, and hopefully they will do good for us. In a few years maybe we can harvest some elderberry from our own property. And here we have one lone okra plant. I started 2 of them just to try it out and see how they would do this time of year, and so far this one is doing great. I know this is probably a small pot because I've heard they get really big, but we're gonna give it a shot and see if we can get a few okra off of it. Okay guys, that concludes our garden tour today. As you can see, I've had my share of failures and successes in my first year of gardening, but I'm learning something new each day, and I am definitely learning from you all here on YouTube. So to conclude, I failed at starting pumpkins in a seed starting tray. I didn't have the best of luck with my tomato suckers. I do still have 4 of those. The watermelons are doing amazing. I hope we get some great big tasty watermelons. The pumpkins that we have started recently are looking great. I really hope we get to have some of those. I look forward to doing sort of a family carving challenge, see who can carve the best pumpkin. I really hope I get to enjoy some of those banana melons because I've never tried any of those. We are looking forward to doing some fermented Tabasco sauce. We will plan on making some more hot sauces. We're going to be expanding the garden, making new raised beds. And I just wanted to thank you guys for following along with us. Invite your friends and your family to come and join as we learn and grow here on the small farm here in Central Florida. Until next time, take care and God bless.